which is why here we go.
You really can debate everything.
I'd say.
Every pick, really except their first one, Skip. You can debate all the rest.
You can debate the first one if you like.
You really could. I thought of that, the same thing, Skip, driving in. Have I ever been more excited for the draft? The day has finally come, guys. Let's break it down. Round 1 of the NFL draft is tonight, and we will see what the 49ers do with the 3rd pick. They still reportedly aren't any closer to making a decision yet, with the gap between Mac Jones and Trey Lance closing in recent days. So, Shannon, you got to answer me. What should and what will the 49ers do here?
Well, Skip, I believe they moved up from 12 to 3 in order to take Mac Jones. But there was a month in between, and they kind of talked themselves out of it. Skip, I've had my own car since I was about 19. Brother bought me my first car that I owned myself since I was 19. And since then, I'm almost a couple of months short of 53. I've never test driven a car. Because I know if I get there and I test drive one and I test drive the other one, it's going to... I know what I want. I go pick it up. I said, look, I'm coming. I'm getting this car, but I'm driving off the lot with it. So I don't test drive. And what the 49ers did, Skip, they test drove another car. They ended up going to see Trey Lance. They asked John Beck to put him through some drills, let him get familiarize himself with a system. And they saw him, and they're like, okay, wow. And that's what happened. I believe, you believe that when they made this, if they make this trade on draft night, Mac Jones is the selection. But you had a month. I believe they've talked themselves out of Mac Jones. Honestly, after sitting here, and it's like, it's close, it's 50-50.
Have you heard anything from the inside about that?
I have not heard from the inside.
Obviously, you being close to Mike Shanahan.
Close to Mike, very close to Mike. I have not heard anything from inside, and that's what's so intriguing. Because normally, you get a sense, but the one thing we do know is that when the needle starts moving in another direction, Skip, it normally doesn't stop. And the needle is kind of moving faster towards Trey Lance than I think Mac Jones would even like. If you make me say now, I don't know what the odds are. Fox Bet might have moved the odds, but I'm saying there's a 55-60% chance that Trey Lance is going to be that selection instead of Mac Jones. And I believe if you had when they made the trade, what was it, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, I believe Mac Jones. I believe they made that trade with Mac Jones in mind because he reminds them of Matt Ryan. He reminds them of Kirk Cousins. And they know what they're getting with that style, Skip. There ain't no, I wonder what could he be. You know exactly what you're going to get with Matt Ryan. You know exactly what you're going to get with Kirk Cousins. But in this offense, and to expand it, and to have some of the design runs like a Kyler Murray, the design runs like a Mar Jackson, you're going to get more bang for your buck with Trey Lance. But to throw the ball and just run the offense in its truest sense, Mac Jones is the better fit. But to open the playbook, as Bucky Brooks says, to expand it, I believe, if you want to expand the playbook, those two guys, Justin Fields and Trey Lance, will give you more bang for your buck if you want to expand the playbook. But to run the offense like he read it in Atlanta, to run the offense like he read it with Cousins, Mac Jones is a better fit. So I believe they take Trey Lance because I believe he wants to expand it.
Okay, so the man I call Shannon Shanahan, because you're so close to both the Shanahans, is now publicly saying that they are about to make the wrong pick. Isn't that what you just said? You just laid it on the table. You would take Mac Jones. They have talked themselves out of Mac Jones and into Trey Lance to their detriment.
Let me tell you what I believe both of these guys believe. They believe they can take the wrong guy and still be a great decision because they have so much confidence in their ability to coach him up, and they have so much confidence in that system. That's what they believe. Because, Skip, like you said, you look at it over the years after John Elway, the selections that they've made, you're like, Brian Griese, but Brian Griese threw for 4,000 yards and went to a Pro Bowl.
He also went 27 and 24 as Mike Shanahan's starting quarterback.
Yes.
And then he tried Jake Plummer, and he was good in the regular season and terrible in the post.
Right.
And then he tried Jay Cutler, and he was a sub-500 quarterback and finally got Mike fired.
I think, Skip, Mike loved Jake Plummer because he says, you know what, I can expand the playbook. I got a guy that got legs, I can run naked boots, I can run him on design runs, and we can get more bang for our buck. But the inconsistency, the accuracy was a problem. So he says, you know what, and that's why Kyle Shanahan, if you ask Kyle, the number one thing he's going to say is accuracy. But the question is, are you willing to sacrifice some accuracy in order to expand and get more bang for your buck with either Fields or Trey Lance? I know what you would do.
I have been on record for about 3 weeks on this show. I would go Trey Lance at number 3.
Okay.
And I was saying that before it was fashionable. And now it seems like there's a runaway train for Trey Lance at number 3, which is shocking to me. And yet, I also told you from the start that if there hadn't been runaway buzz about these two guys, the Shanahans, trading up for Mac Jones, I don't think anybody else would have talked about Mac Jones as a top 5-ish pick.
Right.
I think he would have been looked at as a mid-round pick, mid-first round. And now Todd McShay just came out with his latest mock, and he's got him falling down to, where was it? He's got him all the way down to going to New England at 15th. Okay? That would make sense to me. He also could go 19th to the Washington football team, which probably still is in the market for a quarterback if they don't have to pay too much to trade up. So there'll be several teams lurking in the middle of the first round saying, is Mac Jones going to fall in our lap? Okay, so I was on record as of yesterday. We went back and forth about Mac Jones. And what have I always said from the start? Tape does not lie. And you threw that back at me as, watch the tape on Mac Jones because it's spectacular.
It is.
He does little to nothing wrong. Yet I would tell you, if you looked harder at said tape, even though the results are sensational, the results are, they're not quite Joe Burrow all-time statistically, but they're close.
They're close.
77% completion percentage.
And that 96 QBR is unheard of.
It's unheard of. I got you. By the way, Justin Fields was 92, and in any other year, we'd be talking about Justin Fields. If there weren't a Trevor Lawrence, we'd be saying Justin Fields should be the first overall pick. But on Mac Jones, when I say tape doesn't lie, the Mac Jones I saw, I'm doing TV tape, so I'm just watching the games, eye testing on TV. I didn't see special. I didn't see big arm because he's got the weakest of the 5 top arms. And not that it's weak, it's just a little below average for the NFL. I found the release to be not that quick, but he is clearly somewhat to a whole lot a product of what was around him in skill, talent, and in protection. They were both supreme, right? So Devontae Smith took over college football. He took over the national championship game. He won the Heisman Trophy. He could get open on anybody at any moment. He could, as they say, separate like nobody could separate because he was such an explosive, great route runner that he toyed with anybody who tried to cover him, whether it was double or triple coverage. He separated from it. And Mac Jones could trust on every read that if he were the first read, he was just going to get open. So to me, if I take Mac Jones out of that and pull him out and try to put him in my eye test vacuum, he doesn't live up to the other 4 in just pure ability or strength in the pocket or even pocket poise. Sometimes he'd get a little jittery. And I thought he could maneuver pretty well, and I thought he could escape a little bit and sometimes be a little bit elusive when he was running for a first down. But he's not the athlete the other 4 are.
No, Skip, in order for him to run, you got to double dare him. These other guys, we saw Trevor Lawrence, Skip, they ran him in the national championship game against Ohio State, and he ran for over 100 yards. So we know he has legs. We know Justin Fields. We know Trey Lance. Mac Jones, of all the guys, he's the last. He's going to use running as a last resort. Even if he escapes the pocket, he's looking to push the ball down the field. But what I love most about him, Skip, if you look at the yards after the catches, receivers, all that has to do with the quarterback. Because there's a difference between a 12-yard completion, you throw the ball, the guy catches and fall down,